5 law enforcement officers were shot in Corotis Township in York County, Pennsylvania. York County on the Maryland line, and Corotis Township is on the southern part of that. 3 of the 5 officers were killed. 2 of the officers are in critical but stable condition at the hospital in York County, and the shooter is also dead. John Miller, your reaction to this tragic news?
Well, when you consider that this is the second officer killed in the second incident in which officers were killed in York County, and Jake, you know better than I do, York County is a place where things like this are not supposed to happen,
right?
And certainly not more than once. But if you then magnify this to say 3 officers killed, 2 others in critical but stable condition, this is going to tear at the heart of a quiet community that is, marked by farmland and neighbors who know each other. Details of what was going on behind this are going to emerge slowly, but we've been working on records associated with the name of the individual who was killed in the shootout with police. There was a charge of stalking and criminal trespass that was filed today, September 17th, 2025, in York County. So as the facts come together, it appears that the arrest team was on their way to pick him up at the house. It appears, and again, this is very fluid, and this information will morph and change over time, but it appears he may have been the only person in the house, and this is a farm community on both sides of the street. But it's a long road where you can look in any direction and see anything coming from a mile away. It also appears, from what we are told by sources about how quickly the shooting began with the arrival of law enforcement, that he was laying in wait, and that this may be characterized as an ambush, in that he opened fire contemporaneously with their getting there, as far as we're told.
Yeah, this terrific news. And Chief Ramsey, you led the police departments here in Washington, D.C., and also in Philadelphia, not far from York County. You heard Governor Josh Shapiro there talking about the families of law enforcement officers and what they go through, knowing that their loved ones every day go off to work with the very real risk that something could happen, that they are the first line of defense.
Yeah, first of all, my condolences to the families of the officers who were killed and critically wounded today. It brings me back, unfortunately, whenever I hear these things. I've dealt with a lot of line of duty deaths in Philadelphia, for an example. During the 8 years I served, I lost 8 officers in the line of duty. 5 were shot to death, 2 died responding to priority 1 calls, 1 struck by a drunk driver driving the wrong way on I-95. It's absolutely horrible. And to see what the families go through at the hospital as they're learning for the first time that their loved one has been killed, it's just unimaginable. And that entire community, and certainly that entire department, and it may be more than one department. He didn't really give us the names of the departments. And in a region like that, you can have many agencies in the area, respond together. So we'll find that out a little later on. But it is absolutely horrible. And, I talk to the families of the officers that I lost. Every time they hear this, it brings them back to that day. And so it's a tragedy that goes beyond just today. And I think that people just need to stop and think about the kind of sacrifice that police officers make every day. When you're out there and you're working the street, you're not thinking about the danger or the possibility of not coming home. You just don't think about that. You don't focus on that sort of thing. But it is a reality. And things like this remind you of that. And there's nothing I can say other than the fact that I pray for them, and they'll find a way to get through this, but it'll never be the same. Believe me.
Former Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey and John Miller, thanks to both of you. Again, the breaking news: police in Pennsylvania confirming 5 law enforcement officers have been shot. 3 of those officers were killed. The 2 others are in a hospital. They are in critical but stable condition. The shooter is dead as well. Our condolences to the family. We are going to bring you more information about the shootings when we get it.